It's time for the Rock On Rap Songs book tag. Welcome to the depths. Hello, welcome to Reading from the Depths. My name is Lecton. Thanks for spending some time with me today. So it's time for another book tag. Today I'm going to do the Rock On Rap Songs book tag. And this tag was originally created by Nicole at Nicole's Bookish Nook, and I was tagged by John at Must Read More many months ago. I'm just getting around to doing it now. I'll put links for all of that down in the description. And it's really simple. There are 9 prompts as well as a prompt to tag others, and each prompt has a song title, and then inspired by that song title, a category or a question regarding books. You don't have to know any of the songs in order to answer this book tag. However, I do know almost all these songs, and what I thought would be fun is to create my own playlist. So for every one of these prompts, I'm also going to suggest a song that meets that prompt as well, that could replace the song that is in the prompt. And since this is the Rock On Rap Songs book tag, I'm going to keep all of my songs to either rock or hip hop / rap music. And I will link to videos for all of those songs down in the description as well. So if you want a little playlist, then there you go. Number 1, it's Hard Knock Life by Jay-Z. And the question is, a fiction or nonfiction book about an orphanage, a poor family, or an orphan. So first off, the song that I am substituting is Orphan by Slipknot. And then my answer to the question is The Spirit Bears Its Teeth by Andrew Joseph White. And now the main character, Silas, isn't really an orphan, but he is a young man. This is a Victorian Gothic horror story. And he is a young man who his mother insists that he has to be married soon, and the whole world insists that he's a girl, even though he knows he's a boy. And so he is committed to a sanatorium / finishing school. And because of that, it's not quite an orphanage, but it's close. This is a great little horror novel about identity and about relationships, and it's really delightful. Number 2, Walk This Way by Aerosmith featuring Run DMC. What is a favorite book of yours that blends genres? For a song, I'm going to suggest Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine, a band very famous for their blending of rock and rap music, and one of the earliest bands to do so in a non-novelty kind of way. For a book, I'm going to say Light from Uncommon Stars by Raika Aoki, and this is a sci-fi, romance, fantasy that is so strange. It deals with, deals with the devil and spaceships and interstellar travel and refugees and queer romance, and it's just got a little bit of everything. If you read the back cover of it, it sounds insane, but then when you actually read the book, everything fits together really beautifully. So Light from Uncommon Stars blends genres in a beautiful way. Number 3, Just Lose It by Eminem, a book that you think is funny or ridiculous in a bad way. I don't like the whole in a bad way part of it. That feels very, I don't know, more judgmental than I want to be. So just a book that is funny or ridiculous. And so a song I'm going to suggest is Party by Ailstorm. Ailstorm is a band that makes basically pirate metal. So all their songs are pretty great. And then a book, I'm going to say Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. This is a really deeply dark satirical book about a young woman who is struggling to be an author but isn't really that good, whereas one of her friends has blown up and is quite famous, and she is visiting her friend, and her friend shows her a book that she's working on that she's basically finished with, but she hasn't given it to her editors yet or anyone else, and then her friend dies. And so she takes that book for herself. Yet the difficulty is her friend is an Asian American and she is a white girl from the middle of the country. And so you go on from there. Really darkly funny book about identity and about creativity, and I highly recommend it. Number 4, Thunderstruck by AC/DC, a book that shocked you in a good or a bad way. And I'm going to suggest for a song, Just by Run the Jewels. And for a book, I have 2. The first one is a fiction book, Requiem for a Dream by Hubert Selby Jr. I'd already seen the movie, yet the book is even more graphic and even more kind of depressing. And his writing style, he doesn't use any grammatical punctuation basically, so it's all run on in such a way that gives it this frenzied energy. It's about addiction and about the myth of the American dream and how such things don't really exist in contemporary America, and maybe they never existed. Really mind-opening / depressing book, which is better than the movie, and that movie, Darren Aronofsky's film, is also incredible. And then the next one is a nonfiction title, and that is A People's History of the United States from 1492 to Present by Howard Zinn. And I know some people have problems with this, and Howard Zinn obviously had his own agenda. It's well known that history is written by the victor. And so the history we are taught in school is not necessarily reflective of what was really happening. And so this book tries to be a corrective of that, and it has its own issues. And because of that, there's a whole series. So, there's Indigenous people's history of the US, and a Black person's history of the US, and the queer people's history of the US, and a disabled person's history of the US. So it spun off a bunch of other books in this overarching series that tries to address the prejudices that Howard Zinn brought into it. But for someone who is just used to history as it was taught in school, this is a real eye-opener. So I recommend it a lot. Number 5, Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses, a book about LA, or a book that takes place in or around LA. So first, for a song, I'm going to suggest Dear Dance by System of a Down. This song references the 2000 DNC Democratic Convention that was held outside of the Staples Center in LA. And at the Staples Center at that time, Rage Against the Machine played a free concert. And the police tend not to like Rage Against the Machine because Rage Against the Machine have long supported Mumia Abu-Jamal, who was convicted of killing a police officer but has claimed his innocence the whole time and is refused a fair trial. So they have always supported him. So if you ever go to a Rage concert, they're going to be police protesting it. And they had all the permits and everything for this free concert. And then the police went in and started shooting rubber bullets and basically caused a riot. And this song references that in its chorus. As for a book about LA, or that takes place in LA, I'm going to go with Mayfly by CJ Lead. This is a young woman who is basically a contemporary Patrick Bateman who isn't quite right. She works at an amusement park as a fairy princess, and she, doesn't have the same set of morals as most people. So everything is about performance with her. And anyway, it's a really dark horror story that I thought was a lot of fun. Moving on, number 6, Gimme All Your Lovin' by ZZ Top. So what is your favorite romance book, or if you don't read romance, your favorite couple in any book? And so first off, for a song, I'm going to say The Death of Peace of Mind by Bad Omens. And for a book, I'm going to say Lisey's Story by Stephen King, which is a beautiful romance story. It just so happens that one half of the romantic couple dies 2 years before the book starts, but that's okay. It's a really beautiful romance story. And also a story exploring grief, but that comes with romance, right? Number 7, Fight for Your Right to Party by the Beastie Boys, a book centered around a celebration. So for a song, I'm going to suggest We Got the Moves by Electric Callboy. They're hard to explain. They're a German band that have basically invented their own genre that is called electronicore, and it's a mix of metalcore with EDM and dance music and a little bit of boy band pop music mixed in. Again, hard to explain, but when you hear it, all you want to do is dance. So that's my song. As for a book, I am going to say Krampus, the Yule Lord by Brahm. So this is obviously celebrating not Christmas, but celebrating Yuletide and Yuletide festivities. Number 8, Firestarter by Prodigy, a book that has fire in the title or has an orange or red cover. So for a song, I'm going to replace that with The Pain Remains 1, Dancing Like Flames by Lorna Shore. They are a deathcore band, and this song is the first of a suite of 3 songs that is considered a deathcore ballad, if you could think such thing exists, and the music video for it is quite touching. So I will link that down below. For a book, I'm going to suggest Burn the Negative by Josh Winning. This is about a haunted or cursed film, which are always fun, and the main character is a journalist, and in the 90s, she was a child actor in a film that is considered a cursed film. Almost everyone that worked on that production has died. They're remaking the film, and as a journalist, she's going to cover this production, and people start dying again. Which always happens, right? That's how cursed films work. And then lastly, number 9, Humble by Kendrick Lamar, a fiction or nonfiction book that left you stunned at the audacity of the main character or the writer. And so for a song, I'm going to suggest Money Game Part 3 by Ren. Ren is an independent hip hop artist he lives in Brighton. He's from Wales originally, and he has this trilogy of songs, Money Game Part 1, 2, and 3, that are about greed and capitalism. Money Game Part 3 is quite stunning. And then for books, I am going to suggest 2, both nonfiction. The first one is Becoming Abolitionists, Police, Protests, and the Pursuit of Freedom by Derica Purnell. And the second one, How the Word is Passed, A Reckoning with History of Slavery Across America by Clint Smith. These are both really wonderful, wonderful books exploring important topics. The first one is about the police abolitionist movement and what it means to have the possibility of living in a world without police and without the incarceral state. And the second one, as the title says, is A Reckoning with the History of Slavery Across America, but Clint Smith is also a poet, and so even though this is nonfiction, the writing is really beautiful and it draws you in. So those are both really phenomenal books. Okay, that is all 9 of the prompts. The last one is to tag some other people. This tag has been going around a long time. I think everyone I know has already done it. So I'm going to take the easy way out and say that if you're watching this, then you are tagged. I would love to hear your response, either in a video or down in the comments. That's all I have for now. So thank you for spending some time with me. I appreciate you. Please be kind to yourselves, take care of each other, and go slowly.